this video is about. The single mom entered the gala, and a rich stranger knew her name already. If this story touches your heart, please mention where you are watching from in the comments. Please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. The grand chandelier above the ballroom swayed gently, casting a warm glow through the lavishly adorned space, where laughter and the soft clinking of wine glasses harmonized with a live string quartet. It was one of those nights when dreams felt tangible, where the air was laced with the scent of fresh roses and a hint of expensive cologne. The annual charity gala for the local children's hospital was a magnet for the city's elite, and Maya Hart was all too aware of her place in this glittering world. As she stood at the entrance, clutching her small black clutch and adjusting the strap of her deep emerald gown, she felt an uncomfortable swirl of emotions. The dress, a beautiful, vintage find from a thrift shop she had transformed with a few simple alterations, made her feel somewhat regal. However, the moment she stepped into the room, the weight of the past pressed heavily upon her. The laughter of couples mingled with the sophisticated murmurs of philanthropy, but it was not a world she belonged to anymore. Maya had always loved the excitement of such events. Before her son, Noah, was born, she had relished the thrill of dressing up, twirling in ball gowns, and indulging in the laughter of friends over champagne. But tonight, in the company of the polished and the opulent, she felt like a ghost of her former self, haunting this world she once inhabited. She took a deep breath, her nerves tinging her fingertips as she scanned the room. The floral arrangements were breathtaking, deep reds and soft pinks intermingled, creating a tapestry of color against the white tablecloths. Her heart quickened at the sound of a familiar voice, a voice that belonged to a man who had shattered her world just a year ago. "Look who finally decided to grace us with her presence," said Ray, an old college friend who had once been the life of every party. He strode over, his tailored suit hugging his well-defined frame. He wore confidence like a second skin, and it made her stomach twist. "I didn't think you'd come." Maya forced a smile, trying to ignore the way her heart sank at the sight of him. "I almost didn't," she replied, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "But I figured Noah could use a night with his grandparents." He smirked, his eyes glinting with mischief. "Ah, the single mom routine. You're doing a phenomenal job, Maya, really. I mean, look at you." She glanced down at herself, smoothed the fabric of her dress, and forced herself to meet his gaze. "Thank you," she said, her tone clipped. "I do what I can." Ray's expression softened momentarily, and she caught a glimpse of the boy she had known before life had taken them in divergent paths. "You always were a survivor. I admire that about you." His compliment felt like a thin veil over an awkward tension. Are you dating anyone?" "It's complicated," she admitted, feeling the weight of that truth. How could she explain the whirlwind of emotions that came with raising a child alone, navigating love and loss? "I'm just focused on Noah right now." "Right," he said, his voice trailing off. "Well, if you ever need a night out, you know where to find me." He winked before disappearing into the crowd. Maya breathed a sigh of relief, glad to evade further probing. Her eyes wandered around the room, pleasantly distracted by the lively conversations and elegantly dressed guests, until they landed on him. He was a silhouette against the backdrop of laughter and music, standing slightly apart from the crowd. His midnight black suit fit him perfectly, accentuating broad shoulders and a lean frame. Dark hair, effortlessly tousled, framed a chiseled face that could have belonged to a movie star. His deep-set eyes scanned the room with a disarming intensity that made her heart race. But it was the moment he turned and caught her gaze that made her pulse quicken. "Isn't that a beautiful dress?" he remarked, his voice smooth and rich as he approached her, a warm smile playing on his lips. It looks like it was made for you. Maya's heart fluttered at his compliment, her instinct to be cautious kicking in. Thank you, she replied, trying to maintain her composure. It's vintage, actually. Vintage suits you, he replied, his gaze unwavering. I'm Nathaniel Sinclair, by the way. Don't think I've seen you around here before. Maya Hart, she introduced herself, feeling an odd thrill at his attention. I usually don't attend these kinds of events. Just thought Noah could use some time with his grandparents. Family first, he said, nodding in understanding. I admire that. I don't have children myself, but I can appreciate the importance of family. Maya tilted her head slightly, intrigued. And what do you do, Nathaniel, if you don't mind me asking? He chuckled softly, the sound warm and inviting. I run a few businesses, mostly in real estate and tech. Nothing too exciting, I assure you. He leaned in slightly, lowering his voice. But I do find that charity events like this can be a refreshing change from my usual boardroom meetings. There was something about him that pulled her in, a magnetism she couldn't quite place. And what brought you here tonight? She asked, trying to keep the conversation light. I have a soft spot for children, he admitted, his expression turning earnest. I was fortunate growing up and I believe in giving back. It's the least I can do. Maya felt a spark of connection, a shared sense of values that she had not expected to encounter in the midst of the gala. That's admirable, she replied, genuinely impressed. It's refreshing to meet someone who cares. Likewise, he said, his gaze lingering on her. It's rare to find someone who is both captivating and grounded. Maya felt her cheeks flush as his words washed over her, the compliment stirring something deep within her, a longing she thought had been buried with her old life. You're quite the charmer, aren't you? She teased lightly, her heart racing. Only when the company is worthy, he shot back, a playful glint in his eye. The chemistry between them crackled, a tantalizing dance of flirtation and intrigue. Just then, a small voice broke through their conversation. Mommy! Noah stood at the edge of the ballroom, his small hand gripping the sleeve of his grandmother. His bright blue eyes darted between her and the stranger, a hint of confusion in his expression. Hey, buddy, Maya exclaimed, her heart swelling at the sight of her son. She rushed over, kneeling to embrace him. How's it going with Grandma? Good, he beamed, his excitement palpable. They're going to have cake later. Maya glanced back at Nathaniel, who had remained at a respectful distance, letting her reclaim her role as a mother. This is my son, Noah, she said, pride shining through her voice. Nice to meet you, Noah, Nathaniel said, crouching down to meet the boy's gaze. You have a very beautiful mom. Noah looked up at her, a mix of delight and curiosity. Are you a prince? He asked Nathaniel, his innocent question momentarily catching Maya off guard. Nathaniel laughed, the sound rich and genuine. Not quite, just a regular guy trying to make a difference. But I think princes are supposed to be very polite. I think so too, Noah agreed, his small frame brimming with enthusiasm. Maya couldn't help but laugh, the warmth of the moment wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. Nathaniel is a good friend, she told Noah, her heart fluttering at the thought of how quickly he had stepped into her world, even for a moment. Well, it was nice meeting you, young man, Nathaniel said, straightening up again. I hope you enjoy the cake. He turned his attention back to Maya, his eyes piercing yet soft. Maybe you and I could catch up a little later. Maya's heart raced at the implication, her mind racing with the possibilities. Sure, she replied, a hint of uncertainty creeping in. If I can get a moment away. Don't worry, he said, a knowing smile on his face. I'll make sure you get that moment. As he walked away, Maya felt a tingle of anticipation rush through her. She watched him converse with other guests, the charisma emanating from him like a beacon. The night stretched ahead of her, filled with promise and a hint of danger, the kind that came with opening her heart again after so long. Noah tugged at her arm, pulling her back into the present. "Mommy, can we get cake now?" "Of course, buddy," she said, ruffling his hair. But as they walked toward the refreshment table, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that tonight was going to change everything. As the soft strains of the string quartet filled the air, Maya guided Noah by the hand towards the dessert table, her mind still swirling with thoughts of Nathaniel Sinclair. The anticipation of their potential conversation mingled with the nagging reminder of the responsibilities that awaited her at home. "Mommy, can I have 2 slices of cake?" Noah asked, his eyes wide with hope, sparkling like the chandelier above them. "2 slices? You must be really hungry." Maya chuckled, her heart swelling at her son's innocent enthusiasm. "How about 1 slice, and then if you're still hungry, we'll see about a second." "Okay." He nodded vigorously, his blonde curls bouncing as he turned towards the table of desserts. A rainbow of cake slices, each more tempting than the last, beckoned him. Maya watched as he eagerly considered his options, her heart fluttering at the sight of him so carefree, so unburdened by the complexities of life. Yet, as she turned to help him choose a slice, a familiar voice penetrated her moment of maternal bliss. "Maya," Ray's voice was like a cold gust of wind, chilling the warmth of the moment. He loomed beside her, a smug grin plastered across his face as if he owned the very air around them. "I see you're still living the sweet life. How's your little prince doing?" Noah glanced up at Maya, confusion etching his features. She bit her lip, suppressing the instinctive urge to roll her eyes at Ray's condescension. "He's doing great," she replied, forcing a smile. "Thank you for asking." Ray leaned in slightly, his eyes narrowing as they landed on her son. "You know, Maya, I could help you out. I have connections, great schools, activities, all the things a kid like him should have access to." Maya felt the heat rise in her cheeks. "We're doing just fine, Ray. Noah is happy, and that's what matters." She turned back to Noah, who was now intently inspecting a slice of chocolate cake. Ray's face twisted into a mock pout. "It's just that you're missing out on so much. You could really use some help. Being a single mom isn't easy, right?" "Excuse me," she said, her patience thinning. "I don't recall asking for your help." Noah, sensing the tension, looked up at her, his blue eyes wide and concerned. "Mommy, can we just have some cake?" "Yes, sweetheart." Maya nudged him gently, guiding him toward a slice that was calling to him from the table. "How about this chocolate one? It looks delicious." "Yay, chocolate!" Noah exclaimed, his excitement infectious, momentarily dispelling the heaviness in the air. As Maya cut a generous slice and placed it on a small plate, she felt Ray's presence linger beside her, his eyes assessing her with a curiosity that felt invasive. "You know," he said, the tone of his voice shifting slightly, "I've always admired how you handle everything on your own. Maybe we could grab a drink later, just to catch up." "No thanks, Ray," Maya replied, her voice firm. "I'm just here for Noah. I really don't want to get into anything else." He opened his mouth to protest, but before he could speak, Nathaniel reappeared, his presence radiant amid the sea of guests. "Maya," he called out, his voice warm and inviting, like a sunbeam cutting through the chill of a winter day. "I hope I'm not interrupting." Maya's heart skipped a beat. "Not at all," she said, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. "This is Noah. Noah, this is Nathaniel." "Hi, Nathaniel." Noah chirped, his small hand waving enthusiastically. "Are you a prince?" Maya felt her cheeks flush as Nathaniel chuckled, his laughter rich and melodic. "Not quite, but I appreciate the compliment," he said, kneeling slightly to meet Noah's gaze. "I think princes would be quite jealous of how you're charming the crowd tonight." "Thanks, I'm having cake." Noah beamed, holding up his plate as if it were a trophy. "Chocolate, fantastic choice," Nathaniel said, his eyes sparkling with genuine delight. He rose to his full height, turning his attention to Maya. "Are you ready for a moment away from the chaos?" Maya felt a rush of exhilaration at the prospect. She hesitated, glancing back at Ray, who was still hovering nearby, a frown etched across his face. "Just for a moment." "Perfect," Nathaniel replied, extending his hand toward her. "I promise to make it worth your time." Maya hesitated for just a fraction of a second before placing her hand in his, feeling the warmth radiate from him. She shot a reassuring smile to Noah, who was now engrossed in a conversation with a nearby guest about superheroes and cake flavors. As they walked toward a quieter corner of the ballroom, Maya's heart raced, half in excitement, half in trepidation. "You really seem to have a way with kids," she said, trying to keep the mood light, even as the gravity of the moment settled between them. "I find them refreshing," Nathaniel replied, his voice low and smooth. "There's an honesty to children that we often lose as adults. They say what they mean and they don't hide their feelings. It's a lesson I think we could all learn from." Maya smiled, her admiration for him growing deeper. "I completely agree. Sometimes I wish I could view the world through Noah's eyes. Everything seems so vibrant and full of possibility." "Is that how you see it?" he asked, his gaze piercing through her facade, seeking the truth that lay beneath. "Possibility." Maya took a breath, considering her response. "I used to," she admitted, her voice softening. "Before everything changed. I was filled with so many dreams and plans, but now it's more about being practical, ensuring Noah has what he needs." "Sometimes practicality can stifle dreams," Nathaniel said, his tone earnest. "What if I told you that you don't have to choose between the two?" She looked up at him, startled by the conviction in his voice. "What do you mean?" He stepped closer, the energy between them palpable. "I mean that dreams can evolve. They can adapt to the realities of life. You can still have your ambitions while being a fantastic mother. It's not one or the other." Maya's heart raced at his words. "It's just, sometimes it feels overwhelming. There are days when I doubt myself, when I wonder if I'm doing enough." "You're doing more than enough," Nathaniel said, his voice firm. "Look at Noah. He's a wonderful kid, and that's a testament to you. But don't forget to nurture your own dreams." His gaze was intense, and Maya felt something shift in the air between them, a current of understanding, of unspoken connection. "It's been a long time since anyone has encouraged me to dream," she confessed, emotions welling up inside her. "I forgot what it felt like. Let me remind you," he said softly, his voice low and inviting. "How about we start with coffee, or something stronger if you prefer? I can be quite the bad influence." Maya laughed softly, the tension easing slightly. "Coffee sounds nice. I could use a break from the cake and the chaos." "Then it's settled," he said, a playful spark in his eyes. "Once this gala wraps up, we'll get that coffee, just the two of us." She felt a thrill at the anticipation of their impending meeting, her heart fluttering at the thought of sharing more than just casual conversation. As their laughter blended with the music drifting through the ballroom, Maya realized that perhaps tonight could be the beginning of something new, something that reminded her of the vibrant dreams she had once cherished. For the first time in a long time, the future felt bright, and Nathaniel Sinclair was standing right there beside her, offering a path back to the possibility she thought she had lost forever. The gala unfolded around Maya like a vivid painting, each moment punctuated by laughter and the rustle of elegant dresses. But as she stood with Nathaniel, the world around them faded into a soft blur, the noise of the event becoming a mere background score to their unfolding conversation. "Tell me about yourself, Maya Hart," Nathaniel said, leaning slightly closer, a playful spark in his dark eyes. "What makes you come alive when you're not navigating the world of single motherhood?" The question hung in the air, heavy with expectation. For a brief moment, Maya hesitated. It had been so long since anyone had asked her about herself outside of her role as a mother. Honestly, I used to be really into painting, she found herself admitting, instinctively brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. But after Noah was born, I let it slip away. I guess I thought it wasn't practical anymore. Practical, Nathaniel repeated, his tone contemplative. It's a word that often carries a weight of limitation, don't you think? What if I told you that art doesn't have to be confined to canvas and paint? It can be in how you live your life, how you raise your son, how you interact with the world. Maya's heart quickened at the thought, an ember of inspiration igniting within her. I've never thought about it that way. I used to love losing myself in colors and shapes. It was like an escape, a way to express what was inside me. She glanced at him, catching the encouragement in his gaze. But then life happened. Responsibilities piled up and I stopped. Life has a way of doing that, he replied, nodding with earnestness. But it's never too late to rediscover those passions. What if we made it our mission to find ways to incorporate them back into your life? Even small strokes of creativity, literally and figuratively, can foster a sense of joy. The sincerity in his voice made her pulse race. You really believe that? I do, he said, his expression softening. And I believe in you. You have this light about you, Maya, it's magnetic. A warm blush crept across her cheeks as she looked away momentarily, trying to process the weight of his words. You're too kind, Nathaniel, she managed, her voice barely above a whisper. I'm just trying to do my best for Noah. Your best is pretty incredible. He paused, his eyes locking onto hers, creating an intimate space that felt almost sacred. But it's okay to take a moment for yourself. You deserve it. Maya felt her breath catch in her throat as she searched his gaze, recognizing the sincerity in his offer. Had she wandered into a dream, or was this enchanting man genuinely interested in her? It's hard to imagine carving out time for myself when there's so much to juggle, she confessed, the weight of her responsibilities pressing down on her. Maybe it starts with a small commitment, he suggested, his tone coaxing. What if you set aside just a few minutes each week to paint? No pressure, no expectations, just you and your creativity. I could even join you if you'd like. Her heart raced at the thought of sharing something so personal with him. You paint. Not well, but I enjoy it. I like the idea of letting go, of creating without the fear of judgment. It's liberating. He winked, a playful glint in his eye, and she found herself laughing despite the nervous flutter in her stomach. Okay, I'll take you up on that, she said, her voice a mix of excitement and disbelief. I'll try to find some time to paint again, just a little. Just a little is all it takes to start a spark. He paused, his expression growing serious. Maya, I have to be honest. There's something about you that draws me in. I hope you don't think it's just the allure of the gala or the thrill of the moment. Her heart raced at his admission and unease fluttered deep within her. I didn't expect this, she stammered, searching for the right words. You're a successful businessman. I'm just a single mom trying to get by. Don't undervalue yourself, Nathaniel said, his voice firm but gentle. Being a single mother is an extraordinary thing. It takes strength and resilience. You're more than just a label, Maya. You're a person with dreams, with passions, and you deserve to pursue them. You deserve to be happy. Maya felt overwhelmed by the weight of his words. It was rare for someone to see her as anything more than a statistic or a challenge. Thank you, she whispered, the vulnerability of the moment wrapping around her like a warm embrace. Just then, the string quartet transitioned into a lively waltz, pulling her thoughts back to the gala. She stepped back slightly, her mind racing with the implications of Nathaniel's genuine interest. We should probably head back, she suggested, glancing toward the bustling crowd that had begun to fill the dance floor. "Noah will be wondering where I am." "Of course," he replied, his smile unwavering. "But before we do, may I ask for a dance?" Maya's heart skipped a beat at his request. "You want to dance with me?" she asked, almost incredulously. "Absolutely," he said, offering his hand, his gaze unyielding. "Just one dance, for old time's sake, and for the possibilities that lie ahead." She hesitated, her self-doubt creeping in once again. But as she looked into his eyes, she saw a kaleidoscope of encouragement and warmth. Taking his hand felt like crossing a threshold into something new, something exhilarating. "Okay, just one dance," she agreed, her voice steadying as she placed her hand in his. He led her to the center of the ballroom, where the other couples swirled around them, each lost in their own world. Nathaniel positioned her in front of him, his hand gently resting against the small of her back, guiding her close. The music enveloped them, and she felt the heat radiating from his body, the very air between them charged with an electric tension. Maya couldn't help but smile as he effortlessly twirled her into the rhythm of the waltz, their movements synchronized as if they had danced together all their lives. "You're a natural," she said, laughing lightly as he spun her again. "Only because I have a fantastic partner," he replied, his voice low and smooth. As they swayed to the music, Maya felt the world around them fade away, leaving just the two of them in their own bubble. With each step, her heart raced, the chemistry between them palpable. She felt alive again, the rhythm of the music echoing the pulse of her heart. "I haven't danced like this in so long," she confessed, her cheeks flushing. "Neither have I," he admitted, his eyes shimmering with sincerity. "But something tells me that's about to change." Maya's breath caught as their gazes held, and for a moment she forgot about everything. Her responsibilities, her fears, everything that had held her captive. Here, in this moment, there was only the music and Nathaniel's touch, firm yet gentle, as he led her through the dance. As the song neared its end, he leaned in slightly, his breath warm against her ear. "You're remarkable, Maya. Don't ever forget that." The intimacy of his words sent shivers down her spine, and she felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. "Thank you," she managed, her voice shaking slightly. You're making me feel things I haven't felt in a long time." Their dance concluded, but he held her gaze for a heartbeat longer, the air thick with unspoken possibilities. She could feel the world spinning again around them, the Gala's laughter and chatter returning like a distant memory. "I'll make sure we get that coffee soon," he promised, his voice a low murmur that sent a thrill racing down her spine. "But until then, don't forget that you're meant for more than just surviving. You're meant to thrive." As they stepped apart, Maya felt a mixture of hope and fear swirling within her. She glanced back at Noah, who was now happily engaged in conversation with her mother, his little face aglow with excitement. She couldn't help but smile at the sight. He was her greatest achievement. The thought of nurturing not just him, but herself as well, felt like a new beginning. "I won't forget," she said softly, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you for tonight." "Thank you for letting me in," he replied, his gaze lingering on her. "I have a feeling this is just the beginning." As Nathaniel walked back into the crowd, leaving her breathless and contemplative, she realized that she had glimpsed something extraordinary, an opportunity to rediscover herself beyond the roles she had been confined to. Perhaps tonight wasn't just an escape. It was a gateway to reclaiming the dreams she thought were lost forever. And with Nathaniel Sinclair's encouragement, perhaps she could find her way back to the vibrant, passionate woman she had once been. As the final notes of the waltz faded into the air, Maya's heart stood in the heart of the gala, the soft glow of the chandelier casting a warm aura around her. The vibrant energy of the ballroom pulsed like a living organism, but within that sea of laughter and music, she felt a profound stillness. She watched Nathaniel Sinclair disappear into the crowd, carrying with him the remnants of their shared moment. The warmth of his hand on her back, the low timbre of his voice in her ear, the undeniable connection that had sparked between them. "Mommy, look at the cake." Noah's exuberant voice cut through her reverie, pulling her back to the present. He bounded over, his small hands clutching a bright red balloon, a trophy of his time spent with his grandparents. "Can I have more?" The sight of her son's joy brought a smile to Maya's face, the weight of her earlier anxieties lifting slightly. "Sure, sweetheart, just one more slice. I think Grandma has something planned for you too," she replied, ruffling his hair affectionately. "Cake first, then the surprise," Noah declared, his eyes sparkling with mischief. He led her back toward the dessert table, his small feet pattering against the polished marble floor, and Maya felt a rush of gratitude wash over her. In this moment, her world was encapsulated in the sweetness of cake and the laughter of her son. As they approached the dessert table, the array of colorful slices beckoned to Noah. "Which one do you want?" Maya asked, carefully keeping her voice light as she scanned the options. Noah's eyes widened in wonder as he pointed to a towering slice, adorned with layers of whipped cream and cherry topping. "Can I have that one?" he pleaded, bouncing on his toes, his eagerness infectious. "Absolutely, my little cake connoisseur," Maya chuckled, slicing the piece and placing it on a small plate. "You have impeccable taste." With his slice in hand, Noah turned to face the crowd, his curiosity ignited as he spied guests mingling nearby. "Mommy, can we talk to that lady?" he asked, pointing to a woman draped in a silver gown, her laughter ringing like wind chimes. "Sure, let's go say hi," Maya replied, happy to indulge her son's playful spirit. They approached the woman, who was animatedly discussing fashion with a group of friends. As they drew closer, Maya felt a tingle of recognition. She had seen this woman in magazine spreads, a prominent fashion designer known for her charity work. "Maya, there you are." The woman's voice was warm, laced with familiarity. "I was hoping to catch you tonight." Maya's heart skipped a beat. "Allegra, it's so good to see you." She had admired Allegra's work for years and had even worn one of her designs to a gala long ago, before her life had taken a different turn. As Allegra crouched down to Noah's level, her expression softened. "And who is this adorable young man?" she asked, her eyes sparkling. "This is my son, Noah," Maya introduced, her chest swelling with pride. "Noah, this is Allegra. She's an incredible designer." Noah's eyes widened, his mouth forming an O of awe. "Do you make princess dresses?" Allegra laughed, the sound melodic and genuine. "I do, and maybe one day I can make you a night costume if you'd like." "Yeah," Noah exclaimed, bouncing with excitement. "Like a real knight." Maya felt a warmth envelop her heart as she observed the interaction, the way Noah's imagination soared with the mere mention of costumes. For a moment, the weight of her responsibilities faded, replaced by the beauty of simply being a mother. Allegra turned to Maya, her expression serious yet kind. "I've been meaning to reach out. I'm looking to collaborate on a charity project, and I think you'd be an incredible asset. You have such a beautiful vision for children's needs." Maya's heart raced. "Really, I'd love to help, but I'm not sure I could commit to much. My time is limited with Noah and everything." Her voice trailed off, the familiar pang of self-doubt creeping in. What could she possibly contribute? "You underestimate your potential, Maya," Allegra asserted gently. "You have a voice and a perspective that should be celebrated. Plus, it can be flexible. I genuinely believe in your ability to inspire others." Maya felt her breath catch, the warmth of Allegra's words wrapping around her like a soft blanket. I'd be honored to help," she stammered, the flutter of hope igniting within her. Noah tugged at her sleeve, breaking her away from her contemplation. "Can we get cake now?" he reminded her, eyes wide with anticipation. "Yes, cake first, then we'll talk more about the project," Maya promised, her heart buoyed by the unexpected opportunity. As they made their way back to the dessert table, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that her night was shifting in ways she never anticipated. Perhaps it was the energy of the gala, or the lingering warmth of Nathaniel's gaze, but something had planted a seed of possibility within her. Meanwhile, laughter bubbled around them, and as Noah indulged in his cake, Maya's eyes drifted across the room, searching for Nathaniel. And when she finally spotted him, standing near the bar with a group of men, her heart skipped a beat. He was animatedly engaged in conversation, his laughter ringing like music in her ears. The way he commanded the attention of those around him, effortlessly charming yet grounded, made her pulse quicken. "Maya, you're missing out on the fun," Nathaniel called, his deep voice cutting through the noise, his gaze locking onto hers with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine. "Just getting some cake," she called back, her smile brightening as he weaved his way through the crowd toward her. "Good choice," he said, his eyes sparkling as he watched Noah devour the slice. "I see you found a worthy dessert critic. He's been super eager about cake all night," Maya replied, feeling her cheeks flush slightly. "I think he might be more excited than I am." "Who wouldn't be? This gala is a dream come true for kids," he replied, kneeling down to Noah's level again. "Do you think we should have a sugar rush dance party next?" Noah giggled, his mouth still full of cake. "Yes, with balloons and everything." "Then it's settled." Nathaniel laughed, and in that moment, the barriers between them felt less rigid. The warmth of their banter enveloped Maya like a cozy blanket, urging her to lean into the connection that had begun to blossom. "Are you two plotting something?" Allegra rejoined, a knowing smile on her face as she approached them. "I hope it's something fabulous." "Just planning a dance party, that's all," Nathaniel replied, his eyes glinting with mischief. "Count me in," Allegra added, her infectious enthusiasm lifting the spirits around them. Gala dance parties are always a hit, especially with cake involved. Maya's heart swelled at the camaraderie, the easy way these two seemingly accomplished individuals connected with her and Noah. "You're welcome to join, but fair warning, Noah eats cake at a rapid pace," she teased, her voice lighthearted. The playful atmosphere wrapped around them, and Maya felt an electric charge between her and Nathaniel, a blending of warmth and anticipation. "I'm not afraid of a little cake," he said, his tone teasing yet sincere. "Besides, I'm sure I can keep up with a master cake eater like Noah." As they stood together, laughing and sharing stories, the night felt like a kaleidoscope of colors, vibrant, chaotic, and beautiful all at once. Maya could sense the stirrings of something profound within her, something that whispered of dreams reigniting and possibilities unfolding. "Let's make a promise," Nathaniel said, a sudden earnestness infusing his tone. "Tonight is just the start. We'll find time to explore our passions, yours in art, mine in charitable ventures. Together, we'll make sure there's room for both of us to thrive." Maya felt her heart race at the proposal, the thrill of his words igniting a fire within her. "I'd like that," she replied, her voice steady as she met his gaze, seeing reflected in him the dreamer she had once been. As the evening progressed, they found themselves slipping into deeper conversations, sharing laughter and stories of their pasts, their hopes colliding with the present. Noah, blissfully unaware of the electric chemistry building between the adults, happily indulged in cake, his innocent joy illuminating the room. And as the night wore on, surrounded by the enchanting chaos of the gala, Maya felt the weight of her world shifting. For the first time in a long time, She dared to dream of what lay ahead, a future infused with creativity, connection, and perhaps even the blossoming of something more with Nathaniel Sinclair. As the string quartet played a familiar tune, Maya took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of life flowing through her veins. Tonight was not just a night at a gala. It was a turning point, a chance to reclaim her passions and embrace the beautiful complexity of her journey. And with Nathaniel standing by her,